Think you don't have what it takes to bring a little sweetness to your festive fall season? Think again. I'm Erin with the Gwinnett County Public Library, and today we're going to learn a little homestead how-to. It's finally fall. Here in Georgia, that means a rainbow of apple varieties, starting with your classic Red Delicious, which is sweet but very, very mild, to your Gala and your Fuji, which are very sweet and very crisp, perfect for salads, all the way to your baking varieties like your Granny Smith and your Honeycrisp. That's just a small selection of what we get here. So today, we're going to start with apple cider. Then we're going to make 2 kinds of mini pies, plus an allergen-free option in case you have food sensitivities in your household. And then we're going to take all of our apple peels and cores and upcycle them so that nothing gets wasted. Let's start. Apple cider is simple. All you need are 6 or 7 quartered apples, any variety will do, 1 or 2 sliced up oranges. You can leave the skin on if you'd like to give it a little bit more of that citrus flavor. I'm going to add some cinnamon sticks and some whole cloves to the mix. We're going to put all of this into a stock pot. We're going to cover it with water, leaving 1 or 2 inches at the top, and then we're going to bring it to a boil. After it's boiling, you turn it down and you let it simmer for at least 2 hours. If you don't want to put this on the stove top, you can always put it in a crock pot and let it simmer all day long, but I'm warning you, your house is going to smell delicious. There's a reason that apple pie is a classic. It's incredibly easy. Here's all you need for the filling. You need 2 cups of apples, diced. Ours are diced pretty small because we're going to be making mini pies. To that, you're going to add about a 1/4 cup of sugar. You're going to add 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. You're going to add barely a touch of allspice. You're going to add 1 tablespoon of all-purpose flour, and then you're going to take some lemon and you're going to squeeze it on top because you want to make sure that your apples don't get all brown and soggy. I mean, no one will be looking at your pie, but just in case they do, you want it to be beautiful. You're going to mix these ingredients up, let them soak up all the goodness, and then put them into your crust. Easy as pie. Okay, that was silly, even for me. There are many, many ways that you can make the dough for a pie crust. Today, I'm going to show you a sneaky way to make the perfect, rich, buttery crust for a bite-sized pocket pie. And all you need is 1 cup of butter, 1 cup of cream cheese, 2 cups of flour, and a pinch of salt. Let me show you.
Begin by mixing 1 cup of chilled butter cut into small pieces with 1 cup of cream cheese. Don't worry about a smooth consistency. You want pockets of butter in your crust, so simply beat until combined. Add 2 cups of flour and a pinch of salt, a little at a time, until your mixture begins to roll into small beads of dough. When this happens, use your hands to press the dough mixture into a large ball, adding a bit of chilled water if necessary. Don't overwork it though. Too much handling can make your pie crust tough. Cut your dough in half and flour a piece of parchment paper. Flatten the dough into a round disc, wrap it up, and chill in the refrigerator for at least 1 hour. After your dough has chilled, cut it into small pieces. Roll each smaller section flat. This dough is very sticky, so don't be afraid to add a little extra flour. Add 1 to 2 tablespoons of your prepared pie filling. Fold your dough over, forming a pocket, and pinch the pie closed along the open edge. Cut vents into the top and paint with an egg wash. Bake for 11 to 14 minutes in a 400-degree oven until golden browned. The end result is a soft, delicious pocket pie that melts in your mouth.
Our second pies are a little more complicated, but you get to make them in a muffin tin.
Starting with a rolled out section of our previous pie crust dough, or store-bought if you're in a pinch, we won't tell. Use a large glass or small bowl to cut out the perfectly sized bottom crust for your Muffin Tin Apple Pie. Carefully lift and drop the small circles of dough into the cups of your pan. Once your bottom crust is in place, use a fork to dock the crust or poke small holes in the dough. This will keep your pie from getting soggy. Pour in some small pie weights or rice, anything that won't char in the oven but will help keep your pie crust in its shape, and place into the oven to pre-bake for 10 minutes at 400 degrees. While that happens, slice your remaining dough into thin strips. These will be used as a top crust when we finish. Remove the pre-baked bottom crust from the oven and carefully shake out the pie weights. Add your apple pie filling, the same filling we used in our first mini pie. Cut 1 tablespoon of butter into each tiny pie. And lay the thin strips of dough over the top, crisscrossing them into a woven pattern and pinching them closed on the ends. Put your mini pies back in to bake for another 10 minutes at 400 degrees, and voila! Handheld mini pies that you would be proud to bring to any festival.
Allergies can be a real challenge, but here's how to make a few simple substitutions and still get your delicious dessert. Start with the same chopped apples. To that, you're going to go ahead and add a 1/4 cup of sugar. You're going to add a teeny bit of allspice. You're going to add 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. You're going to add a little bit of lemon juice. If this sounds familiar, it is. It's exactly what we did for the apple pie. Here's where the substitution comes in. Since we won't be able to use butter and we won't be able to use flour for the crust, we're going to be replacing the butter with 1 tablespoon of coconut oil, which will give us the same richness and help bind the dessert together. So we're going to put all of this together. We're going to mix it with our hands because it's fall and we're feeling a little frisky. On top of that, we're going to add 1 cup of shredded coconut. Now this is going to give us all of the crunch that you love to have if you're going to eat some kind of apple crumble. And we're going to add on top of that a little more coconut oil. We're going to pop this in the oven at 425 for about 15 to 18 minutes, and it's good to go. Don't throw away your scraps, not with apples. You can take the apple peels, add a little cinnamon and sugar, roast them, and make apple chips. You could put all of your scraps into a Ziploc bag, toss it into the freezer, and add them to smoothies if you need a little fiber. You could boil these for a little apple tea on a cold, brisk fall morning, or you could take a coffee filter and a mason jar and make your own apple cider vinegar. Here's how.
Fill a glass jar 3/4 of the way with your scrap apple peels and cores. Add 2 tablespoons of sugar, 1 tablespoon for every cup of water you use, and pour in 2 cups of distilled or boiled and cooled water. Leave at least 1 inch at the top for gas to escape. Replace the center of your lid with a coffee filter and attach with a metal ring or a rubber band. Place this jar in a cool, dark place for 2 weeks, swirling or stirring the contents daily. After 14 days, strain out the apple scraps and place the jar and remaining liquid back into its dark, cool home for another 2 weeks. At the end of 4 weeks total, you should have tangy apple cider vinegar ready for cleaning, healthcare, and homemade recipes.
And there you have it, a feast fit for a fall festival. All you need to add is the fun. I'm Erin with the Gwinnett County Public Library, and we'll see you next month for a little homestead how-to.